Ready? Chalo, Ansh. Start, Ansh.
Hello everyone, I'm Ansh. I welcome you all for the celebration of National Science Day. And for me, playing, reading, eating, dancing, and singing is science. I welcome our genius chief guest Manjunath sir. He loves science. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Science is our life. Now, Anu Didi, please speak.
Yeah. Thank you, Ansh. Thank you so much for welcoming all. Yes, Anukriti, let's begin the session.
Our amazing scientist Dr. C.V. Raman has said that ask the right question and nature will open the door to her secrets. So, I am Anukriti Maurya from class 4th Sarojini Naidu section. I want to say good afternoon you all, my respected principal sir, director sir, vice principal sir, all my teachers, my dear friends, and our special guest Manjunath sir. So we are celebrating the National Science Day to mark the discovery of Raman effect by Dr. C.V. Raman. Dr. C.V. Raman was awarded a Nobel Prize for his inventions in 1930. So I want to tell you all about some of our amazing Indian scientists. Let me present.
Thank you so much, Ansh.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is visible.
Yes.
Yes.
It is visible?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay. First, C.V. Raman. Chandrasekhar Venkat Thomas was born on 7th November 1888. He was working on an light scattering of the field. Second, Satyendranath Bose was born on 1st January 1894. He was known as father of God particles. He was an mathematician and physicist. Third, Narendra Singh Kapani. He was an Indian-American physicist best known for his work on fiber optics. He is also known as the father of fiber optics. It is because of him we are using the high speed of internet today. Fourth, Kalpana Chola. She was an astronaut, engineer, and the first Indian woman to go to space. Her mission was began on 1994. Fifth, Srinivas Ramanujan. He was an Indian mathematician. He made a theory of numbers. He is also known as Ramanujan constant and Ramanujan theta function. Sixth, Sir Jagdish Chandra Bose was an biologist, physicist, botanist, and an early writer of science fiction. He he invented a crystallograph, a device for measuring the plant's growth. So I want to thank you, all of you. That's it.
Thank you so much, Anukriti, for your amazing talk. Now, Manjunath, please proceed and begin the celebration of science.
Okay, thank you, first of all, Rohit, sir, for inviting me for your Science Day celebration, and Anj for a very nice introduction, and Anukriti for showing us all Indian scientists. So let's begin with my presentation. Before going to that, I heard that you have been celebrating this Science Week for last 1 week, and I think you have been talking to a lot of people, a lot of scientists. I also saw that you talked to people from astronomy, people who are working like a food scientist. So what I am going to talk today is, I think you already know the topics. You already know the topic? Does anyone know the topic? Okay, good. That's good for me. Then cells. Okay, good. Someone said cells. Yeah, the scientists, the cells. So we are going to talk about all these things. And so let me begin my presentation first. Is it visible now to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay, thank you. Okay, so let us make a deal now. Before I start, so here is the deal. So what is the deal? I am going to ask you some simple questions. Okay, and then you have to tell me some answers one by one, not in a crowd, like you can decide who wants to tell. And then I will tell you the story of the cells in our body, like how do they move, what do they look like. And at the end of this presentation, I'm going to show you the institute now where I'm working in Austria, and then what we do here, how does our campus looks like, and maybe you might be interested to be I think that some of you must be interested to work as scientists. Okay, so let's begin. So what comes to your mind? This is the first question. Like, what comes to your mind when you hear the word scientist? Can you say something?
Sir, can I?
Like what? Yes, yes.
Can I?
For a
Yes, yes.
scientist is a person who can make a thing which can do anything.
Oh, who can make a thing which can do
Experiment.
anything? Okay,
Sir,
somebody is saying
experiment.
that.
Science means that
Yeah.
that can make our daily life easy.
Okay, good.
Sir, can
Is
I?
someone who? Yes, yes.
Sir,
Sir,
can I
he
take?
has invented so many things and he knows so many things related with science.
Sir, can
Okay,
I? Sir, can I tell?
okay.
Sir, can I?
Yeah. I think now we'll move on. Like you will get other opportunities. I will ask so many questions to you today. So when you hear scientists, so what happened to my screen share? Sorry. So do you imagine something like this? Like a person wearing the lab coat, working in the
Yes, sir.
lab with some
Yes, sir.
things, doing some experiments all the time. So that's what we do as scientists. But other than this, we also have our life. Like personally me, I go for running, I travel a lot, and then I like doing yoga, and then I like swimming, I like cycling. So we do so many things, not just doing the lab things. As you said, we do work for science. Like we do a lot of experiments, we try to build some things, and also we try to do things which are useful for society and which will make life better. Maybe the recent example you can take from coronavirus, which I think everyone is aware of. Like we are trying to find drugs for the coronavirus, and many scientists are working. How does the coronavirus infect human body and all such things? So next, so what do you guys know about cell? Tell me something. What do you
Sir,
guys?
shall I tell?
Yes.
Sir, cell is the basic structure unit of any organism's body.
Yeah.
Sir,
So this is yes. Like I think she already told the answer almost. Does everyone agree with that?
good afternoon,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes,
Sir,
sir.
Okay. So what I
sir,
learned, what I learned from even what I learned from my school is the cell is defined as a basic structural and functional unit of life, or it can be from any organism. So if you look at a organization of body of any human or any other organism, so how does it look like? So each organism, let's go in the reverse order. Each organism, like you take an example of baby here, it has so many organs in it. Like it has kidney, it has a heart, it has hands, legs, and everything. So all these organs are made up of something called as tissues. Okay, what are the tissues? Like it's a group of cells defined to do particular function. Suppose if you take a heart, there's a group of cells which beats continuously. Okay, if you take muscles that are in our hand, if you look at them, they are cells which continuously contract and expand. I have a nice movie to show you how does that work. We can see that later. And then comes these individual cells. So each cell is a factory in itself. Like it has so many parts, and then each cell is made up of small molecules. There are millions of molecules inside a cell. Next, how big is a cell? What do you think is the size of a cell? Can we see them with the eyes?
sir, no.
No, sir, it's
No, sir.
microscopic.
No, sir.
It can be seen with the microscope.
Okay, cool. You guys know better than me. I was expecting that you wouldn't answer such questions. Okay, good. So your teachers are really good that they have kept you updated, like how to look at the cells. So now, if you look at, so I'm going to just give you some examples, like what to just give you an idea, like how big is a cell. If you consider a human body, like we are something like in meters, like somebody is 1.5 meter, maybe 1.8 meters, or even like 1.2 meters. And then if you take ostrich egg, which is smaller than that, and you have seen the chicken egg, and then if you go below these orders, then you start seeing cells. But the thing is, you can see that with the human naked eye, we can see human beings, we can see ostrich egg, we can see eggs, we can see frog egg. I don't think if you have seen frog eggs, they are also huge. Like at least you can see them with the eyes. But when you go to the cells, like plant cell or animal cells, you might have seen these pictures in your textbooks. Okay, if you are not seen, like I'll show you some cool videos where you can see how these cells exactly look like. I can show you some animations. So they are very small. Like you have to zoom in like 100 times. Like if you have to see a cell, you have to zoom in like 100 times. Are you understanding anything here, or you guys are lost? Hello.
Sir, understanding.
Yes, sir, we do
Good
understand.
understanding.
So if you have any questions, you can stop me in between. Okay, there's no problem.
Yes, sir.
Next, so what scientists do? What?
What is
Hello.
the meaning of cell?
What is the meaning of cell? Hello. I didn't get your question. Can someone tell me what was that question?
Sir, what is a cell?
What is a cell? So I just talked about the cell. So each organ in our body is made up of tissues. Okay, each tissue has a group of small individual like compartments in our body. Those compartments we are calling it as a cell. Okay, this cell.
Okay, sir.
Did you understand?
Yes, sir.
So yes, so each of these compartments that you see here in this figure, that is called as a cell. Okay, I'll show you some movies later so that you understand better. So we can't see them with the eyes. So what scientists do, we do make use of light. So we have microscopes. I will show you the images of microscopes as well at the end. So we put them under the microscope and then see the cells. And if you want to see what is happening inside the cell, how does the cell look from the inside? Like if you say that the virus, say coronavirus, infects a human being, it has to enter your cells. So what happens inside the cell? What is there inside the cell? So that we can see using other techniques, like you can make use of electrons and then see what happens inside the cell. Now, what are the different types of cells that you might have seen or heard from the human body? Can you name some cells if you know? It's totally fine if you guys don't know.
Sir, prokaryotic.
Prokaryotic, eukaryotic. So let's not talk about prokaryotic and eukaryotic now, because prokaryotic cells are something like bacteria which live on their own. So we are not talking about them today.
Blood
So we are
cells,
talking about,
neuron,
yes,
nerve
yeah,
cells,
The nerve cells.
okay, so somebody said red blood cells, somebody said neurons, which are nerve cells again, and then
epithelial
White blood cells.
epithelial cells. Good, good. You guys know better. Yes. Anything else?
stem cells,
Stem cells. Wow, I didn't expect that answer.
connective
Good.
tissue cells.
Connecting tissue cells. Okay, there's. I'm happy. Nerve cells. Good, good. Thank you. So all these are different kinds of cells. Eye cell. What did I hear? Did I hear properly? Is it eye cell? Someone said.
Yes, sir. I said.
Good, good. Okay, okay. The cells that make up our eyes. Good. So I have a cartoon here.
Epithelial cells.
Yes, yes, yes. I heard that answer. Thank you. So these are different types of cells that we can see in our body. They are like, sorry, this is wrong. This is red blood cells, not white blood cells. So this is red blood cells, and these are white blood cells.
Skin cells.
Which cells?
Skin cells.
Yes, skin cells. That's what someone said, epithelial cells. So epithelial cells is same as...
Fat cells.
Yes, yes, enough. Now, for now, it's enough. Now, we will talk more about cells now. So now, we have different types of cells in our body. Somebody said nerve cells. How do they look like? And then these are the cells in our intestine, which are like they have, you can see that they have these finger-like projections to absorb the food that you eat. And then there are cells from liver. There are cells in your muscles. So you can see that they are nicely connected. So I will show you what happens inside your muscle cells when you move your hand every time. So now the question is, like, how does a cell in a body looks like? Like, what is in there? So what we do now, we will dive into a movie. Okay, you just have to observe what is there. Okay, so have you seen how does a cell look like? What is there inside?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's go through this movie. Okay.
No, sir.
So what I do is now I stop this presentation and I will show you guys the movie, because apparently, can you see my screen now?
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, just a minute, just a minute.
No, sir.
I will...
No, sir.
Yes, yes, just a minute. I will show you. Just a minute.
No, sir.
Yes. Can you see my screen now?
No, sir.
No,
sir.
No?
No. Yes, sir. Now I can see. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, cool.
Yes, sir, now.
Keep quiet now. So now we are going deep into the cell and look at each and everything what is there inside the cell. Maybe you can understand some things, you don't understand some things. It's fine. Just take it as a movie. Just see what is there inside the cells. Okay? Cool?
Okay.
So our cell has a central part which is called as nucleus, and this nucleus has this DNA. This red thing that is wrapping around these nucleosomes that you see is DNA. And then this DNA is made into protein. Okay, this DNA is converted to RNA, then that RNA is converted to protein. And these proteins do a lot of functions. They are like small motors or machines inside your cells that do a lot of functions in your cell. Do you see, like, this is the nucleus exterior, and you can see there are long paths inside the cell, and then you can see like finger-like projections in front of the cell here, everywhere. And then there are like highway kind of things in your cells, which are these long polymer kind of things, like paths, over which the small machines move. So what they do is they transport things inside your cells. So these are proteins. So proteins are basically the machines that do a lot of functions in your cell. This is called as motor function. You can see that it has 2 legs and it is carrying something on its back. So what they do is they transport things inside your cells. So we call them as motors. And these are the highways that you were seeing inside the cell. So these are the proteins which make the pathways inside the cell so that you can transport different things to different parts of the cell. Okay, we call them as microtubules. So names are not important, just enjoy the video. So this is another protein, which is a polymeric protein. This protein is involved in your muscle motion also. So you can see that this is the cell membrane, and this protein is making the cell push towards in front. And this is how it happens. So you can see it's like a machine continuously changing. There is something being added and something is growing, something is moving. This is what happens in your muscles all the time when you move your hands and legs. And then there are other parts of the cell, not only this, there are other parts of the cell which give you energy. So whatever the food we eat is converted. Yes?
Start the screen.
What?
Sir, someone has stopped it. Someone has. Sir, your screen stop the record. Presentation. Not present. No, sir, your screen
No, I
is
didn't.
visible. Sir,
Sir, now your presentation is not visible.
Your presentation.
No, I didn't understand. What happened? What happened?
Hello, Manju.
Sir,
Actually,
your presentation is not visible.
somebody else has started presenting the screen. So can you please present it once again? Just it was fraction of seconds. Accidentally, somebody might have touched over there.
Okay, it's fine. Okay, I'll show it again. So where were we? We were here. So inside the cell, these organelles convert your whatever the food you eat into energy. Okay, they are called as mitochondria. And then there are some things called as Golgi apparatus. These are like a factory, inside a factory. So they transport things like proteins. They make whatever the protein that is made, they pack them.
Yes, sir.
Sir, someone present again.
Sir, his name is.
Yes, all of you, it's a request. Please do not click on this button present now. Nagraj sir and Swati ma'am. Nagraj sir and Swati ma'am. I think somebody has joined it from outside. Please do not click on this button present now. Yes, Manju, please continue. Yeah, you have to present it once again.
Sorry.
Yeah, actually, accidentally, I think they are exploring the Google Meet here.
It's okay. So these things, they manufacture proteins and they pack them and then they ship them. So these are called Golgi apparatus, which is inside the cells. And then the last thing is the cell membrane. You see all the things that are inside the cell, they need to be protected with a kind of plastic bag or membrane. So that we call it as cell membrane. And this membrane differentiates from one cell to another cell. It's like a wall. Like how you separate one home from another home, it's like that. It's a wall. Okay? And this is the liquid inside this bag sheet of cell, and then all these proteins and motors and everything are lying inside the cell. Cool? Yes, let's stop this now and go back to the presentation. Just a minute. Where did I lose my presentation? Sorry, my presentation is closed. I will just open it and then start. So next is so you already saw that our cell looks like a big factory. Okay, it has so many things moving, so many things making, so many things being transported. So it's always like that. Next is what happens when you move your legs or hands. So I was telling you that when you move your legs, your muscle cells in your hands or legs come into play, and what happens inside those. So they need to consume energy, and then they start moving these cells inside your muscles. So I have a video. I'm sorry because I could not, I cannot somehow play those videos here. And our body is full of these molecular machines, which are called as proteins. So before going into here, what I do now is I will show you the other video which I wanted to show, like how your muscle cells move. Just tell me if it is boring.
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
Okay,
No,
good.
sir.
Now,
No, sir.
okay, cool.
No,
So,
sir.
yeah.
It is
So
curious.
now,
No, sir.
yeah. So now there's a lady who is doing a dance. So obviously she's moving her legs. So now we are going to see what happens inside her leg or hand when she moves her body. Okay? Just observe keenly. So this is the muscle cell, like muscles in your body. So these are the neurons which you were talking about, nerve cells. Your brain sends the signal to your muscle cells. This is how it looks like. And then your muscles receive the signal from the brain to move your hand or leg. And then this contraction and expansion begins. So these are the muscle cells in your body. So we call it as a sarcomere. It's an arrangement of different proteins inside your muscle cells. So they are constantly being moved across each other. And if you look closer, this was the thing that you saw before. So these proteins are moving constantly across each other. So when you want to expand, they are moving apart. When you want to contract, they are moving closer. Cool? Yeah, these are the details which you may not know, like how do they move inside. I think we stop here again. And we go back to the presentation. Oh, wow. I'm sorry, guys, because this Google Meet is irritating. It's going back again. So, did you like these videos?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now we understood what happens. Now, what happens in your muscle cells when you move them, and then we know that it's a big factory. There's a lot of machines, molecular machines, which are moving inside the cells. Now, how does the cell move inside? Have you heard of these bacterial infection? Like somebody says that I have a stomach infection, or there is an infection in the hand or somewhere, or there is a wound in your body. Does it happen to you often? Like when you play, there is a wound on your body and then it has to heal. Guys, does it happen to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
Yes,
what
sir.
when some bacteria or infectious bacteria, bad bacteria which cause diseases, when they attack your body, so we have
Sir,
some cells
to be able to move a cell, the cell must attach itself to a surface and use its front to push to exert the force it needs.
Wow, who is this? May I know your name?
Sir,
Sir,
I
Pragati
sent
sir.
in chat box. She read
No,
and
sir.
tell.
Ma'am, sir, I have my own answer.
No. What's your name?
Ma'am,
Sir,
sir, Pragati sir.
Pragati. Okay, cool. So Pragati knows a lot here already, which I was not
Sir, I
expecting.
sent in
So,
chat box.
no. It's okay. Okay, cool, good. So the thing is like when a bacteria infects your cell or any part of your body, or if you have a wound, what we have in our blood is an army of cells which can sense this. So what do they do is, like as Pragati said, so if there is a, suppose if there is an infection in my hand here, so what happens immediately is, if there is some bacteria entering in my body, immediately there are some cells in your blood, they immediately move to that part. They recognize that there is some foreign body which has entered our body, and then I have to move there and kill it. Okay. So, and then like, but the thing is, in order to move the cell from one part to other part, it has to get this chemical signal. So that is given by some other cells. Okay. So we have so many different cells performing different functions. There are epithelial cells, which these bacteria have to penetrate into and then get into our body. Okay. So now Pragati was telling that in order to move, the cells has to adhere to some surface and then move its front. So if this is the cell, consider it has to adhere to some surface and then it has to move, like we walk on the floor. Okay. Now we'll talk more about that. How does the cell do that? So now, do you guys see the video now? There's some video, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is one type of cell. So I want you to just observe what is happening here. So I will give you some hints. So these are red blood cells or white blood cells which are inside your body or in the bloodstream, and something is happening. Just look at this guy.
Sir, video is not visible.
Video is not visible?
Sir, video is visible.
It's visible.
It's
Okay,
visible.
Yes,
maybe it's somebody's problem in the phone or laptop. Just check it. But I think the video is visible. Okay, I'm going to continue the video. Just look at what is happening there.
visible.
Did you see something?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What happened?
I able to see.
Actually, a item is entered in our body and it is making infection.
Okay, it's making infection. Okay, I will tell you what is happening.
Bacteria which is moving towards our body.
Okay. I'll tell you now. So you see a small thing here in front of the cell, the black thing
Yes,
in
sir.
front of the cell.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
Yes, sir.
yes, so that is a small bacteria, infectious bacteria, which has entered your blood. And this cell, the big cell which is following that, it's called as a neutrophil. So they are there in your blood cells, in your blood. So what they do, as soon as some bacteria comes in, so it is following that. So it follows, it catches it, and then it gobbles it. So it eats it up completely. That's how it destroys the bacteria. Okay. So if you want to see it again, I will just run through. So you can see that this cell is following that small bacteria, which is in front. And now it will follow it everywhere, wherever it goes. The bacteria is trying to escape, but this will not leave that. It will just find it, it will eat it at the end. Did you see that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. He has written it.
Okay, cool. So that's what happens in our blood. Like we have these army of cells which protect us from all these infectious bacteria all the time. So these cells migrate very long distances in our body. Okay. Okay. What is happening? So just don't take like whether you know it or not know it, whether you understand it or not understanding it, it's fine. Just I'm going to give you some information which may not be familiar to you, but just I'll just go through this slide. Don't if you don't understand, it's totally fine. Okay, now it's clear, I guess. So,
Yes, sir, it's clear.
as someone said, so cells in our body, Pragati said, I guess, so they attach to these surfaces, like maybe another tissue or the blood vessel inside, they attach to that, and then they start moving. So that's when we say that the cell is adhered to something. You say like adhere to the rules. We talk in English, right? Like please adhere to the rules, which means that stick to the rules. So what the cells do is they stick to the surface and then they push themselves in one direction. So if this is the direction of motion, so they get these long finger-like projections in the front and then they start moving in that direction because they have got a chemical which tells them you should move in this direction. Okay. And we call these as adhesion points. So you need not know all these things. I just showed you how does that happen. And then what is happening inside the cell? So you saw those proteins, right? There are like polymeric things, like long filament things. So what they do is, this is the cell membrane. So if I go back one slide, if you look closer into this, so this is the cell membrane, which I said the outer wall of the cell. So that is being pushed by proteins which are inside this. Okay, they push this membrane continuously inside the cell, and that's how your cell moves in the front or in the direction which it wants to move. So that's what is this figure telling you. This is this small, this is the membrane, and these are the protein which are continuously pushing that membrane. So what happens when you push that membrane continuously, you start moving in that direction. Okay. And how do they look? So when you look them under a microscope, so this is how we see them. So you can see this is the color in red. So this whole thing is a cell. And this red colored thing is the leading edge of the cell, the front, and that is pushing the cell to move. And why is it colored? So if you want to see something in the cell, what we do is we give some molecules which give us a red signal or green signal. This is where these proteins are located and they are moving these cells. Okay, you need not know in detail, just to tell you. And if you look under the microscope, those you saw in the diagram, right? These proteins. Okay, this is just a diagram, but if you see in reality, how do they look like? So this is a movie which is made using electron microscope, which I was mentioning in the starting. Like after light microscope, people, if they want to look inside the cell, they use these electron microscopes. So this is a movie which is made. What?
Sir, how do they look when we see them under a microscope?
So this is how. That's what I have put the photo here on the left. Do you see a photo on the left? The image. This is how.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is how it looks like inside the cell, and like they have different like red and green proteins which are inside the cell, which are labeled, and then you can.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now on the right side you see the electron microscopy that is being used. You need not know the details, just see the movie. Like you can see all these filaments inside the cell in the leading edge. This is how these proteins are arranged, and this is the membrane at the bottom, and they are pushing that membrane. Okay, cool. And then next, if you want to really see some movies, how these cells are moving, so I have just put up some movies like to show you this leading edge. How does it look like? So you can see in this movie, do you see cells crawling? They are moving in a group. So you see that this is the leading edge, and they are moving like towards this direction, towards the bottom. So they are the finger-like projections. That's how they move, like crawl. And I told you there is another kind of finger-like projections which they make use of, which you saw in the beginning of the movie where we saw the cell. We also make use of those. Do you see these finger-like projections?
Yes, sir.
On the right? Yes. Yeah, so these are also being used by the cell to move around inside the cell. So these are called as something called as philopodia. You need not know the names. So this is how they look like under the microscope. Okay. Now we'll move to the next. I think I'm taking now. You see two figures on the slide. Like which path is easier to run?
The
one on the left.
Left one.
Left one is
Sir, first one is easier.
Yeah. So the first one is easier, and the right one is difficult, right? But in our body, so this is what is. Yeah. So what you are seeing here is these are the cells which are taken outside of the body and put on a plate or something. And then we are seeing how they are moving on a plate. Okay. But that is not true. Inside our body is like 3-dimension space, right? So there are different tissues. So our cells have to move through a lot of this traffic inside the cell, like how this guy is running in the forest. So it's like that, like it has to find its way through a lot of tissues and cells. And in our institute here, there is a lab. What we do is, so we cannot just take out a piece of muscle from the body and then look into the cell. So, yeah. Hello. Okay, somebody just interrupted. Okay, so so what we do is we try to create the environment for these cells outside in the lab. So what we do is we create this 3-dimensional space, and then we make the cells run through those 3-dimensional space. Like we have a lot of obstacles which cells have to cross and then move. So now I think I should stop again and show you the video. Like how are you seeing the YouTube now?
No, sir.
No, sir. Screen is black. Yes,
Okay.
sir. Screen is black.
Okay. So I will show you now. I think. Do you see the YouTube channel now?
No, sir. Sir, your screen is not visible.
Please start presenting.
Now?
Yes, sir.
sir, अब दिख रहा है.
Sir, visible now.
Okay. दिख रहा है? Cool. Okay. So now you will see. So this green thing here on the top, this is a cell, and we have put it in lot of obstacles, and then we are trying to see how does that cell move inside the cell. And then other experiments, what we do here on campus is like we try to create the pathways for cells, like with a narrow width, with a huge width, and then try to see where does the cell go. So here's a nice video. So this lab is in Austria, like where I study. Okay, this lab works on that. So I'll just play this video, just observe.
Inside your body right now, white blood cells are moving through your tissues on the hunt for pathogens. But this cell is in a petri dish in a lab in Austria, where researchers have been putting white blood cells through a variety of obstacle courses. These experiments are designed to reveal the secrets of their impressively fast locomotion. And understanding how these immune cells speed through the body could help reveal how cancer cells move and spread. These neutrophils are racing through a maze. They're attracted to a chemical at the other end, and by sensing the chemical gradient, they can pick the shortest path. But the inside of your body isn't like a maze with a choice of uniform pathways. Instead, immune cells need to be able to squeeze through gaps between tissue cells and pick the best route. In a new experiment, this dendritic cell is given a choice of 4 paths of different widths. It probes the different options before picking the widest path, allowing it to move faster than it could through a narrower channel. This ability to sense the size of gaps means that cells moving through the body can avoid dense areas and find the fastest routes rather than just the shortest ones. When trying out different options, these cells position the big, bulky nucleus near the front. If the nucleus fits, the rest of the cell will too. This ensures the nucleus doesn't get damaged, squeezing through too narrow a gap. Once the cell has decided on a path, the other protruding probes are retracted using a kind of internal cellular skeleton made of microtubules. If these microtubules are disrupted so that they can't retract, as has been done here, the cell will pull itself apart. Cancer researchers are particularly interested in understanding the mechanisms of immune cell locomotion. Tumour cells may activate these same systems when they start to metastasize, allowing them to move through tissues. So understanding the sophisticated locomotion of white blood cells like these could help scientists stop cancers spreading around the body.
Okay, did you like it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Cool. So that's what.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Then let's move on. So I have to run with the time. Are you able to see my screen? No, not yet.
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
No, sir.
Your screen is not
visible.
Okay, just a minute. Okay, is it now?
No,
Is it visible now?
sir, not
Yes?
your screen is. Yes, sir, it is visible. Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay, cool.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
next.
Excuse
This you
me,
saw
sir, I have
already.
a doubt.
Yeah.
So why
What's
is
your
cell
doubt?
not thick?
Why a cell?
Why a cell not move straight?
Okay, why a cell not move straight? Good question. So why a cell can move straight? So I showed you these images, right? So these images. So if you have a proper path or a road, you can run straight. Okay, you can take a car and then go straight. Like, can you take a car here or can you run straight here?
No, sir.
No. Why?
No, sir.
Because the surrounding here is so weird. It's not like you don't have a proper path. So what you have to do, you have to find your own path. Like wherever there is a space, you have to squeeze in there and then move. Okay. So similar thing happens in our body. So when the cell is inside our body, it's like a mess. There are a lot of things it has to cross through. That's why the cell cannot move straight. There are no straight paths inside the cell. Okay, so that's why it has to squeeze through and then take different paths and find which is the easier way. Okay? Understood? Okay, cool. And other thing is like this cell migration like is also involved in many different developmental processes, like how a small baby grows into a big human being. So there's a lot of cell motion. Okay, I think for the sake of time, I'll just skip this slide. And one thing, like when can this cell migration or the movement of cells can get bad? When can it cause diseases? So when they start dividing a lot and then start forming these tumors, that's when we call it as a cancer. So I will just show you a video. My screen is visible, right?
Yes.
Yes,
So
sir.
I will just,
Yes, sir.
just,
sir. Your screen is visible.
just show you a video like how these cancer cells. So this has sound, but I think it's not working now. I'll just play the video. How this cancer develops. So this is inside the breast tissue. This is the cell that is cancerous. What it starts is it starts dividing. Okay. And then starts moving. It forms its own colony here. Okay. What it does is it forms in its own environment and it continuously starts dividing. Fine. So this cancer cell gets into your tissue, and then what it does, this is just animation just to make you understand. So you see these like finger-like projections at the edge, these things here, which we saw in the beginning. So with the help of that, it starts spreading all over inside your tissues. You see that? That's how the cancer grows. Okay. And that's why a cell cannot move straight path. You can see like how tight it is inside the tissues. And finally, as I promised, I will now just, I'm just at the end. I will just show you my institute where I'm working now. I'm more interested in the cell biology. How do cells move? What are the proteins that they use to move? Okay, and then I'll show you some what to say, videos, and then I'll finish my presentation. Okay. So there is the campus. Yeah, screen is blank. I'm just a minute. I will just show and then I'll finish my presentation. Okay. Is my screen visible now?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay, just
No,
see this video.
Yes, sir.
This is the video. This is the video of campus. You can already see an Indian guy working in this campus. It's not me, somebody else. So let's see the video.
Welcome at IST, the best place to be. My name is Vlad Kozak and I'm responsible for international services. I help people relocate and adjust to their new life in Austria. And my job today is to show you the campus at IST Austria, which I think is just great. It's a fantastic campus. We're gonna start with the lecture hall. It has a room for over 200 persons. And yeah, the biggest events we have on campus and the biggest lecture takes place there. Right next to it is the central building, which is home to our computer scientists and some mathematicians. Futuristic building is Bertalanffy Foundation building, so the biologists have their offices in there. We continue with the preclinical facility. You see this building has very few windows and a golden color tone to it. The next building, which is gray and is extremely energy efficient, is the Lab Building East, which houses the neuroscientists. The old administration building, which was part of the previous institution here, and the new administration building, which is right next to it, and was finished 2018. Like I said, the administration departments are in there, from our managing director, the president, finance, communications, HR, IT, all of them have their offices in there. Last but not least, lab and office building west. Restaurant, also very important, on top of the hill, is where we get to have our lunches. And also on the very top of the hill, are the apartments. So we have in some 120 apartments on campus where people live. I really say it with a lot of conviction that IST is the best place to be. I love that, you know, you get to work in the Vienna woods. It's 20 minutes from Vienna. It's a great place to cycle. Yeah, it's green, it's lush, it's a great campus, and it would be my pleasure to welcome you here in person on campus very soon. Bye-bye.
Did you like it?
Yes, sir.
Cool.
Yes,
So
sir.
that's where
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
that's where I work, and I think I will have to again start the presentation. Oh, God. Okay, so cool. You saw my campus, and they said that there are apartments on campus. I just live on campus here. Then, so this is how our campus looks like. You are seeing my screen, right?
Yes, sir. Visible.
Yeah. So this is how our campus
sir.
looks like. And then, oh, I think this is a video I just don't want to play because it's already late. So I wanted to show you how do the microscopes look like. Okay, so these, I think, do you see this microscope on the left side here?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
sir.
you might have,
Yes, sir.
you might have seen similar microscopes in your schools or somewhere, but what we use is something like this, which is on the right side. So we have a lot of cage inside which our microscopes are kept, and this is where through these you can see the cells and then also record movies. And this is another microscope. You can see it's very complicated, like it's not a simple microscope. And if you look, like it is connected to the computer and there are so many wires, there are so many things. And this is where we keep our sample. And I want to show you how does that look like. This is the place where I put on my cells, okay? And then I see it through the computer. But this is how I place my samples in the microscope. You see these wells here on the left side image?
Yes, sir.
So each well, so this is the experiment that I was running last week. So in these wells, I have put cells. So these solutions that you see like pink and red and all these things, they have a lot of cells inside them. So you put on this and there's a lens which is at the bottom here that will give you a zoomed image of cell, whatever you are seeing. You can make movies, you can look at the cells and then their behavior. Okay, that's the bioimaging facility that we have here. And then I talked to you about the electron microscope. Do you see me here? So these are electron microscopes. They are so huge. Like you need a big room in order to keep them. And this is where we place the sample. We open this glass door, and then inside that we place the samples. So if you want to look inside the cells, that's how these are the microscopes to use. These are not simple, they are very costly. So this is the one microscope that is in NCBS Bangalore, which I was working at previously. Okay. And the last thing. So this is the quote that I like most about, which I love. So the scientist is not a person who gives the right answers. He's a person who asks the right questions. So always keep asking questions to your teachers or to me or anyone. Like if you want to understand something, you need to ask questions. Don't hesitate. Even when I was a student, I used to hesitate a lot to ask questions. If you hesitate to ask if you are hesitant to ask the questions in the class, just go after the class, find your teacher, ask the questions. I think they are encouraging. They will help you find the answers. So this is my institute when there is a lot of snow. Thank you for your attention, and that's it. You can ask me any questions if you have.
Sir, how you got the cells for no inside the cell?
No. What is the question? How did I get the cells, or how do I look into the cell?
So my question is that, sir, you got some cells which are in color pink, green.
Yeah.
So how you got that cells that are inside our body?
Yeah. So these are so there are different techniques. So we do not actually, like, we just don't go and cut someone and take the cells out. So what we do is, so the cells can be like, there are some cells that can be grown outside the body. Someone in the beginning they said that, like, stem cells. Okay, someone said stem cells. So what these cells are, these cells never die. So what we do is, like, never die means the cells die, but the thing is you can keep on replicating them. So you can keep on using them. So we either use cells from the mouse, okay, or from even from human beings, like cancerous cells, which do not die very easily, and they are very easy to grow because you don't have to take care of a lot of things to grow cancer cells. They just randomly grow, very rapidly grow on their own. You need care, but not so much. So these are usually the cells which are cancerous cells, which are being extracted from patients, and then they have been mortalized. So they are being continuously used. So it's not like I go and cut someone and take out these cells like I buys from companies. Like, there are some companies which make these cells and sell to us, like scientists, whoever is working on them, and then from there we start using those cells.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Any other question?
No.
No, sir.
Okay, cool. Okay, nice to meet you all. Like, Chhattisgarh is very close to my heart because
No, sir.
I did my class 9th in Mahasmund, like Saraipali. I think, I don't know if you guys know that place in Chhattisgarh.
Yes, sir.
And I studied there for 1 year. So I know Bilaspur already, and I'm happy to talk to you all. And it was a nice time with you all. Thank you so much for inviting me. I hope you enjoyed my talk.
Yes, Manjunath, it was really amazing session. Beautiful videos which you have shown, and even though students has a virtual trip of IST Austria, that was really amazing. And thank you so much for accepting our invitation. Yes. Deepthi Rathore, do you have any doubt here? Would you like to ask some questions?
No, sir.
Okay, all right. So thank you so much, Manju, for accepting our invitation and celebrating the National Science Day with us. So
okay, it was my pleasure talking to you all. Take care and bye-bye.
Gia is present here. Gia
Yes.
Agrawal. Yeah, Gia, I
Yes.
would like you to proceed further. We'll end the session now. Yeah.
Yes, sir. A thankful heart is not only the greatest virtue, but the parent of all the other virtue. With this, I wish a really warm and graceful afternoon to everyone present over here. It's my privilege to propose vote of thanks and acknowledge the contribution of all those who really worked hard. On the behalf of JWS family, I extend a really heartfelt thanks to our chief guest Manjunath sir, who spared time for his busiest schedule to grace the club. Today we had an opportunity to know more about cells and is really going to help us in future. I would like to thank our principal sir, director sir, vice principal sir, who made this day happen, all the teachers who really worked hard, and last but not the least, Ansh and Anukriti. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you. Then see you. Bye bye.
Bye, sir.
Bye, sir.
Bye,
Yes.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Bye, sir.
Bye, sir.
Bye,
Sir, this
sir.
session is very nice, sir.
Bye, sir.
Bye, sir. Have a nice day, sir.
Bye,
Bye, sir.
sir.
Yeah, Manju, we have Amrish over here. Amrish, would you like to ask some questions? So, Amrish, can you hear me?
I don't know if he's there.
Yeah, he's there. He's there. I think he has attended the complete session.
No, I think he left.
Yeah, I think he has left the meeting now. So, okay.
Sir, I also want to say thank you for taking me a chance for presentation.
Okay, thank you. Your presentation was
Yes.
lovely.
Yes, Amrish is back here. Yes, Amrish, do you have any questions to ask?
Yeah, Manju. It was very,
Yes.
indeed, very good session. And I
Okay,
love
thank
to
you.
see that Austria. Very
Okay.
good campus, man.
You're welcome.
Enjoying a
Welcome.
lot.
Yeah,
And
you're welcome.
I really appreciate these kids from Zindal. They are very good, actually. All are curious.
Yeah. I was
Nurturing in
surprised.
good
Like
hands.
yeah,
Yeah.
like they are like class fourth and they're in UKG. I was like, oh wow.
Yeah,
Like I had
Amrish and
no idea.
Manjunath, they have
Exactly.
formed Curiosity
And
Club.
there are few
And
of my students also who joined the session
Okay, cool.
from Police Public School, Mysore.
Ah, cool. Nice.
Yeah, they are all actually happy to see this kind of session. And
that's
Okay.
Rohit bhai, you are taking a very good initiative actually.
thank you,
And there
Amrish.
are two of my nieces also. Manju knows them.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah,
Hi.
actually they were watching in the other phone also. Thank you.
Okay.
That's great. That's great. So yeah, Amrish and Manju, they have formed Curiosity Club. The initiative has been taken by students, and they celebrate science throughout the year. They
Yeah,
perform
cool.
experiments at
That's
home.
really good.
Yes, and recently
Yeah.
they have played Antakshari competition on science, and they were
Oh wow.
identifying the concept names. So it was the hard work of
Well going.
students. Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
ಮಂಜುನಾಥ್ ಸರ್ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.
Okay.
ಹಲೋ ಸರ್ ಮಂಜುನಾಥ್ ಸರ್, ನಾವು
Namaskar.
ಬೇವಿನಹಳ್ಳಿಯವರು ಸಿರ್ಬಡಿಗಿಂದ
Okay.
ಅಪ್ಪಾಜಿಯವ್ರ ಊರು.
Okay, like
ಕನ್ನಡ
India to
ಕನ್ನಡ
English
ಸರ್.
ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? Like,
ನಮ್ಮ ಜಾವೂರ್ ಸರ್ ಅದಾರಲ್ಲ, ಅವ್ರ ಬ್ರದರ್ ನಾವು. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಅಪ್ಪಾಜಿ ಅವ್ರ ಅದಾರಲ್ಲ, ಬಾಳ ಚಂದ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರಿ, ಬಾಳ ಚಂದ ಪಾಠವನ್ನ ಬೋಧನೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ. ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಯ್ತು ಸರ್ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಬೋಧನೆ. ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಖುಷಿ ಆಯ್ತು, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಆಸ್ಟ್ರಿಯಾ ನೋಡಿದ್ದಿಲ್ಲ, ನಿಮ್ಮಿಂದ ನೋಡ್ದಂಗ ಆತ ಈಗ.
Okay. Thank you.
ಬಹಳ ಖುಷಿ. ತುಂಬಾ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಸರ್, ತುಂಬಾ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
Okay.
But so many are here to hear you, Manju.
Yeah, like there are some
amazing.
people from Karnataka as well, like who were attending this session. I think yeah. It was good.
ನಿಮ್ಗೆ also
I really enjoyed
ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ
it.
ಗೊತ್ತು ಕನ್ನಡ. I learned a lot in Mysore. Yeah. Okay,
Rohit, thank you for inviting me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Manjunath. Thank you so much, for
Hello, Manjunath.
joining us.
Hello, Manjunath. Hello.
Okay, Manju.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Rohit bhai.
I think this is my father.
Hello,
Yes,
Hello.
yes.
Hello, Manjunath.
Yes, I am listening. You can say. I think this is my father, I guess.
ಪಾಠ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮೂಡ್ ಬಂತು, ಅಡ್ಡಿಲ್ಲ.
Okay.
Your explanation
thank you.
is good.
Okay, thank you so much.
Wow, amazing.
Let's talk later.
Okay. All right, Manju. Then let's end the session.
Yeah,
We'll meet soon.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, sir. Have a nice day.
Bye, sir. Bye, sir.
Yes. Bye, everyone.
Bye, sir.
Thank you for attending the session.
Bye, sir.
Bye.
Bye, sir. Bye, sir. Have a nice day.
Yes. You too. Have a nice day.
And happy National Science Day, sir.
Yeah.